Morning everybody. This is my Predator 2000 max watt inverter generator. That's one thing you got to pay attention to when you're buying a generator. Is it running watts that you're looking at, or is it max watts? Every one of these companies that puts these things out is always going to show you the max wattage, making it look like it's stronger than it actually is. At least that's what I've seen. So this is an inverter generator, which gives you pretty clean power. 2000 peak watts, 1600 running watts. So what that means is that when, let's say you turn on your air compressor, sorry, let's do the air compressor. Your compressor kicks on in your refrigerator when you're running it. That first draw is going to be a lot higher than what the running watts is. So let's say your refrigerator draws, and I'm just going to pull something out of my hiney. Let's say it draws 600 watts, but when it first kicks in, it's a max wattage of 1400. Well, then after it kicks in, it's going to drop down to that 600 running watts. So if you're going to be running more than one thing, keep that in mind, because when that compressor kicks in, you got to make sure you've got enough wattage to cover it. So it's really easy to start. It's got a fuel gauge. My dog got soaking wet and went to the shed the other day when it was pouring down rain. Decided he was going to shake, so my generator's kind of dirty. But you turn on your vent here so that it can vent properly. And you set it to start. Not exactly easy to do like I'm doing it. You can run this in parallel if you want. Just got to buy the cables, have another one hooked up. Got your two outlets, reset. You have a ground. You are supposed to ground this when you're running. So you can hook any jumper cable to a ground in your house. You've got a ground, just do like that. This one here has a throttle down, so you're not burning your fuel quite as much. So let's say you're just running some household lights. You put it in throttle down mode and it will use a lot less power. It's also a lot quieter, a lot less power. It will use a lot less fuel. This thing actually is very quiet. If I'm not mistaken, it runs a little over 60 dB, which is great. I mean, if you're listening to the airplanes going over, that's most certainly louder. So this one hasn't been started in at least 3 months. So let's try it out here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, hang on. Sorry about that. I wasn't getting a strong enough pull. So you hear it start up. It runs for a minute. Don't care. Run mode. See how quiet it is. It's going to go up and down like this for just a minute. And then it will stable itself out. So we kick it on ESQ. You never ever want to run this. The airplanes are louder than this generator. You never want to start this in ESQ. You always want to have that turned in the off position. Also, never start it with anything plugged in. Plug everything in after you got it run, or after you got it running, and let it warm up. Other than that, just check your oil like the manufacturer recommends. This particular generator says to run it every 8 hours, check it every 8 hours, and change it at least once a year. Depending on how often you use it, you're going to change it a whole lot more. But since I don't use mine that often, I change mine pretty much once a year. And keep your air filter clean. So that's all I got on this video. This is a great little generator. I think I gave $3.99 for it back a few years ago, shortly after they first came out. I'll say it was $3.99. They're a little bit more expensive now, but either way, you can't go wrong. Over $1,000 for a Honda or $500 for a Predator. And I've had 0 issues. Have a good day, guys.